Figured I'd just, before doing any rallies today, probably just jump into this Assetto Corsa in my BMW 1M. And, mess around, show you guys how I blow off some steam. Frustrating days. It's fun to be able to just do this. Yeah. Yeah, so little known fact, or majorly known fact if you've watched any of the other videos that I posted like 1,000 million years ago when I can actually use the clutch. Drifting is actually how I got started in motorsports. Like, what is it, like 14 years ago now? 16 years ago now? A long time ago now? Yeah, this used to be it for me. It was all I thought about day and night. Different ways of being sideways, and how to be more consistent at it. It's probably why I like rally so much. I get to combine, you know, time trials, which I also used to do, with doing big sends. It's just a lot of fun. So yeah, I do this whenever I just want to, you know, blow off some steam. At the end of the day, nothing important going on, just me and the road and my car. And that, I mean, that is truly peaceful. It is super peaceful when you're just here, listening to the tires, doing a little clutch kick there. And you just have a blast. Whoop. There we go. Keep it in line. And just have a ton of fun with it. It really is just super enjoyable to really just let the car just do its thing. This track I'm on I'm in the garden section of Project Toge. For anyone who doesn't do Assetto Corsa, it's just like a 40-kilometer long track, but I'm on just a specific section of it right now. If I go through this bridge, you can see over here, there's a bridge, and over here, there's just more course. So this will take you up and around to the rest of the course. There's a pretty large bridge over that way. This takes you, this tunnel, I don't know why I said bridge. This tunnel will take you under the bridge, or to the bridge and then under it and then to the other side of the track. So let's go through the tunnel. I like the tunnel. Whoop, big spin, got it. We can recover it. There we go. It's all about how you recover it, right? You don't have to be good. And I am not good. But drifting is something I did for a very long time. I was pretty active in the drift scene for about 12 years. I was really hardcore for about 12 years. Every last dime I had what I would put into drifting. I'd go to every drift event. If I had any money, I mean like 50 bucks at the end of a paycheck, it would absolutely go into drifting. I would buy tires, I would buy parts for my car. Whoops. I would spend money on entry fees to drift events, rent trucks, rent trailers. That was it. I really didn't do anything else. My tires are really hot, so yeah, my tires are super hot, so I'm kind of losing it a bunch. But yeah, I just figured you and I can chat here and have some fun while I'm doing some slides, or at least attempting to. I am boiling those back tires. Those poor tires. Yeah, you could tell that the tires have zero grip now because the car went from super controllable to now is just like driving on glass. Like driving on melted glass. So now that you've come to the other side of this, we can either go that way. Oof, 21 Newton meters is kind of strong. Or we can go that way. That way takes us back to where we were. So let's go this way and see what happens. See what it's like. So yeah, drifting was a big part of my life. It really defined how I drove cars for a long time. So like even when I started doing like time trials and autocross, damn. Even when I started doing time trials and autocross, I would absolutely drive with a ton of slip angle. Because it was fun. Ooh. Who needs paint? You don't need paint. I would really run the risk at a lot of, racing events and track days and stuff like that, of getting kicked off the track actually, because there would be some turns that I would enter into, and if I felt the car was going to be doing, ooh, let's go this way. If I felt the car was going to be doing a lot of understeering, I would just kick the tail out. And because all I really knew was drifting, I didn't know how to correct the slide, to straighten out as quickly as possible, like you do when you're actually trying to, drive fast and not sideways. I would have these big, juicy, smoky slides that looked cool, and of course they were slow, because drifting isn't fast. Ooh, went up on the hill, that was cool. Oh, I don't care. It's like the slap won't count. So? But yeah, whoops. My hand slipped. This is why I usually wear gloves. One of the many reasons why I typically wear gloves. But yeah. I would have these big, showy slides, and I would get back to the pit after the session was done, and of course the course marshal was waiting for me. Like, you can't do that. Like, that looked cool. If they were cool, they would say something like, yeah, it looked cool, but we need you to not drift. And I'd be like, sorry, it felt like it was gonna go under, go wide, so I wanted to kick the tail around to get it around the corner, and instincts kind of kicked in when it came to sliding it. And that was it. Yeah. The course just kind of ended there. I was just too busy talking. I didn't even pay attention to the fact that the course was ending. Woo! Big sends. So yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, now you guys know. I mean, anyone, if anyone's ever actually watching this video, probably no one, but yeah, no, that was my life for a long time. And it was one of those things where, like, I tell people, you know, don't make your hobbies your identity. And it's because I know what it's like when your hobby is your identity. Drifting was my identity for a long time. Like, people associated me with drifting and with the gym, pretty much. Like, I was always in shape and I was always drifting. So yeah, so when that becomes your identity, if any of that goes away, for any reason, with the gym, like this, you see I have my wrist wrap on because I pinched a nerve doing the bench press. If anything goes away because of injury, or you run out of money, or you crash your car, and suddenly you're off course, you know, you're away from the track for any reason. It takes a part of you away, and that's never fun. That's never fun, and you don't want that to be why you go into a spiral. You know, I spiral a bit. I do have depression. And I take medication and stuff for it, and so I'm usually pretty good about it, but sometimes nothing mellows my head and brings me out of my spiral quite like just jumping in Assetto Corsa, grabbing this BMW, or any one of the many, many awesome cars, and just doing some big sends like this. Nobody else on the track. Just me. I don't want anybody else on the track when it's like this. I'm an extrovert, but when I'm driving, that is my me time. Whether I'm in a real car or I'm in a sim, this is my me time. I close the door and I just let me and the car talk. The car and I, we'll just be best friends for a little bit, and we learn about each other. It learns how I want to drive. I learn about what it wants versus what it doesn't want. Like, it didn't really like that. Yeah, definitely didn't like that. So I know not to do that next time, and just take it easy, you know? Don't over-rotate the rear end. Let the tail end step out naturally, and it will respond very well. See? Drive with the fingertips with a car like this. It kind of doesn't like when you scruff of the neck drive it. See that? Like, kind of tap the wall there. It doesn't like scruff of the neck driving. Yeah, it just doesn't respond well. So, like, if I just kind of... Yeah, it just wants to spin. So you just have to gently. And once you get it going sideways, then it'll play with you. It's fierce. It's fierce. Let's just keep going around and then go down the mountain again. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys this side of it. This is me when I'm not rallying. I'm usually just playing with the car in Assetto Corsa, grinding my clutch because I didn't push the pedal in. I did push the pedal in, but I didn't push it in properly. That is very realistic, by the way. I can't tell you how many times when I was learning how to drive stick, when I was learning how to drive stick, especially when I first started getting on track, you know, with a manual transmission car, there's a difference between, you know, driving in traffic and, you know, just driving to, like, get somewhere. you know, in a calm environment, or even if you're having fun with friends or whatever. There's a huge difference between... My tires are so hot I can't turn the wheel at all. Look at this. That's just turning the wheel. That's how hot my rear tires are. Anyway, yeah, there's a difference between just driving normally and getting all the inputs nice and smooth and correct, and driving in anger at like a drift event, which is why a lot of people will recommend, if you want to get good at motorsports, especially driving a manual transmission car, drive that one car. That car. Don't change things about it all the time. Don't keep modifying it. Drive the one car. That feels really good, by the way. If you're wondering, yes, this does feel really good. Woo! That's fun. Anyway, what was I saying? ADHD. Drive the one car. Don't do a bunch of crazy modifications to it. Don't keep changing things up. Let me fix my wrist strap here. Don't keep changing things up. Drive the car. Drive the car. Drive the car. Go to as many events as you can afford to. Don't be like me. Don't go to all the events you can afford to and then use your credit cards to go to the events you can't afford to go to, because that'll put you in debt. And I don't really regret it because I had a lot of seat time. But I did definitely overspend quite a lot going through a lot of that stuff. But yeah, drive the car. Make sure you're, you know, feeling the nuanced differences. Triple screens are so immersive. I just watched my car tap the wall there. And just, you know, learn to be one with the car. The car really should be an extension of you. It shouldn't be you're out there drifting a car. There's time for that after you get good. It really should be you driving the car. Like, you should be driving yourself more than the car, rather, is what I was trying to say. You know, you're going out there, and yes, from the outside looking in, it looks like you're just driving a car. But, it should just feel as natural to do as it does to, you know, wake up in the morning, stand up, if you can stand, if you're able-bodied, and it should feel as natural as blinking. We don't think about blinking. We just do it. We don't think about breathing. We just do it. And when you start doing any motorsport, whether it's drifting like this or, you know, time trials, hill climbs, rallying, open wheel stuff, autocross, whatever. Every part of it should feel natural, like you're just like you're just going to work. Like you're tying your shoes, if you can tie your shoes. I don't want to prejudice against people that can't tie their shoes. Everybody's welcome here. Everyone's welcome here, except for people that can't write in cursive. No, I'm kidding. No, seriously. No, but I'm kidding. Or am I? This is going to be a long video, isn't it? But yeah, sorry. This is a rambly video. I might do some rally later today, but right now I'm just kind of having some fun. Me and my car. Me and my baby. I really do like this car a lot. And this is a Kuno's car. It's not even like a modded car or anything. This is just the car as Kuno's provided it for Assetto Corsa. And I do mod AC. I have a lot of mods. I use Content Manager and all that good stuff. Woo! That's tight. See, that's when I really do appreciate this being a sim. When I can just back into a wall like that because I did a big send. Yes. Come on. Yes. Yes. See, you really cannot scruff it. You saw I just tried to scruff of the neck this car, and he does not like that. And I know a lot of Americans, when they name their cars or when they give their cars a personality, they tend to relate their car to a female. But, yeah, boys exist. And this car is a boy. My Peugeot is also a boy. I call him Pierre. We'll see more of Pierre later today if I do any more daily races. Woo! I don't know how I didn't hit that guardrail. Holy smokes! Get in there. Sometimes I forget that there's a handbrake there. Because when I would do drifting, when I was actively drifting IRL, I really didn't use the handbrake a lot until much later. A lot of people, when they start drifting, they use the handbrake all the time. I was really big into weight transfer and clutch kicking, so I got really good at that. And I was never really good at the handbrake. I would almost invariably would spin if I used the handbrake. It just gave me too much rotation too quickly, like that snap rotation. Whoop, there we go. So, yeah, I was just never really able to control it with the handbrake, so I just didn't do it. And you know, it's like anything else. Whoa! Did you see that? Holy smokes. I just died. But whatever, car's still moving, because whatever. Because it's not Richard Burns Rally. But then, I would say probably 6 or so years after I started drifting, and yes, it did take that long, about 6 or so years after I started drifting, I learned how to start using the e-brake to correct a drift, like mid-drift. I still wouldn't use it to initiate. Like, just like that, I just prefer weight transfer. It just feels more natural. I just prefer the feel of weight transfer. But yeah, I learned how to start correcting the drift using the e-brake, and that kind of blossomed into using the e-brake to initiate. So coming up to a turn, I could. And look at that, I still spin. You see what I mean? But you get what I'm saying. Like, the e-brake really is an abrupt way to start sliding the rear end. It's why it's so popular in rally. And it's why it's so popular in, like, professional drifting, because you want it to be this big, showy drift, but, like, you don't want to do that, right? So it's all about balance, and I just prefer, so that's weight transfer, using your foot brake, like, so using your standard brakes to initiate the drift always felt good to me. It always felt like I was doing something when I would use the foot brake, and everybody else was talking about using the handbrake. I'm like, no, I just kind of tap the brakes Scandinavian flick style. And yeah, just go from there. Look at that. The car is just pure sends. I don't know how long these tires are gonna last, but I know how long I'm gonna drive. I don't even know if I'll upload this video, so to be completely honest with you, anyone that watches my content for rallying is not going to want to watch this, and anyone who watches for Assetto Corsa content isn't going to be watching my channel, so we'll see. I do enjoy drifting though. Drifting is a big part of my life. I did it for a very long time, and I still very much enjoy it. You know, a decade and a half later. It's amazing to think that I've been doing motorsports for that long, whether IRL or virtual. And I started off with motorsports like IRL motorsports. So sim racing was very difficult for me to get into, getting a sense of speed visually as opposed to that seat of the pants feeling. You know, like right now you'd be feeling all kinds of G-forces and vibrations and rumbles and undulations and everything, and that would prevent you from spinning. Those feelings would prevent you from spinning right there. But you completely have to just rely on what the wheel is telling you, what you're seeing, you know, visually, what you're hearing, listening for those changes. Oof. Listening for those changes. And I've recently, when I say recently, I've only been sim racing or doing any sort of sim driving since January. But one of the things I did more recently than January, these tires are baked, I'm going to restart. One of the things I did, right in the dick. Oh, that's much better. That feels much better. Anyway, one of the things I did was after installing SimHub, was I put the, what am I trying to say? The haptic feedback stuff on, so I have shakers everywhere, absolutely everywhere. And I have multi-channel control of those bass shakers and stuff. So, oh yeah, that's how a car is supposed to drive. Is my traction control on? Nope. That's how it goes. That's the difference between good tires and boiled tires. It felt like traction control was on. Woo! So yeah, there we go. Use the e-brake to correct. Get in there. Start sliding. Thank you. But yeah, I just I forgot what I was saying. Oh, the bass shakers. Yeah, so those help out a lot. You can feel when the car leaves the ground a lot better because now you're feeling it with your body. You can feel when you're overloading the tires because you're feeling it in the pedals. You're not just feeling it in the wheel, you're feeling it in the pedals. That's how I can tell when my ABS is kicked in. That's how I can tell when my wheels have locked up, because the bass shakers send that information to my feet and to my butt and all these other places that make us happy as racing drivers or drifters or whatever people want to call themselves. And it feels extra good in sim, being able to replicate that. I think the only thing I can do from here would be getting like a proper rig and going with motion, but I'm not that serious about it. As you guys already know, I just kind of exist. Oh, you didn't go into gear. Helps if you go into gear. Grinding the clutch. Yeah, that feels good. Oh, much better. There's actually traction. There's actually traction. So there you go. Using the e-brake to correct a slide. Using the e-brake to correct a slide, using the e-brake to extend a slide. That's how I got into the e-brake, but then I learned how to use it to initiate. Like that. I learned how to use it to initiate. It was seriously like 6 or 7 years after I started drifting that I started using the e-brake. And it still shows to this day, like even all these years later, I'd still rather use weight transfer and pedal manipulation, clutch kicking, even when e-braking is the obvious choice. Like right there, e-braking is the obvious choice and I just didn't want to do it. There's a good clutch kick. There's a good clutch kick. Whoops. Yeah, there we go. Keep it, keep it. And drifting is just so satisfying. It's one of those, you know, you can run a fast lap and that's super satisfying. I know the satisfaction of that. You know, even if it's just like a personal best, which is always the best. You shouldn't be comparing yourself to others. But you could set a personal best around a track or in a rally stage, and that feels good. But that instant gratification, like it's instant. Yes, like that. It is just instant, the instant gratification of a solid drift. Especially if it feels like you're about to lose it and you catch it like that. Speak of the devil. What? Oh, this car is phenomenal because I suck at this. Oh, that feels so good. And that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with drifting. Because I do like instant gratification. I mean, who doesn't? And the instant gratification of a solid drift is just, it's just so satiating. Like jumping in a cold pool on a hot day. I love drifting so much. Look at this thing. Look at this car just behaving. It's just behaving. BMWs, I'm not really a huge fan of BMWs. I've owned 5 of them, but believe it or not, even after owning 5 BMWs, 6 BMWs actually, if I count my last E46, I'm really not that big of a fan of them. Matter of fact, one of my BMWs was actually one of my drift cars. But yeah, no, I'm really not that big of a fan of them, but one thing I can always say about BMWs is they do exactly what you tell them to, especially M cars. M cars do exactly what you want. From a driving perspective and from a driver satisfaction perspective, even as a Porsche owner, I know that BMW does it better. And Porsche does it really well. But there's just something about hopping in like an M3, or in this case a 1M, and getting it right. How it flatters you. An M car will flatter you if you get it right, but it will brutally punish you if you get it wrong. A BMW M car will not help you get it right in any way, shape, or form, but it will allow you to maximize your own potential. One of the things I've always kind of disliked about driving Porsches and owning them is they do not flatter the driver at all. Porsches want you dead. They don't want you to look like a good driver if you're not. So you almost have to drive either below your limits Whereas a BMW will let you push all the way to your limits. Or you just crash. And Porsche will just laugh at you and say, "Stop driving me, please." See, like I could not hit that curb in a Porsche with the tail out like that. It would just wrap around. And that's whether you're driving on a 911 or a Cayman or a Panamera. Which sucks because Panameras drift very well. I miss my Panamera. But yeah, no, they drift very well. But yeah, BMWs they do all this sidesteppy, showboaty stuff a lot better. Porsches are faster around the racetrack sometimes. Like the 911 versus the M3. The 911's probably gonna win every single time around a racetrack. But in everyday speed categories, I don't know. I think everyday speed categories, the BMWs might just have it. And BMWs are more comfortable, in my opinion. But I'm okay with being wrong. I love my Porsches. But an X3 is more comfortable than my Macan. But my Macan is a better driving vehicle. I don't know. Weird contradictory stuff coming out of my mouth right now. But I'm just rambling. Maybe someone will watch this, maybe someone won't. If anyone is watching this, feel free to comment down below about anything I've said, and my channel is super small, so I'll see it and I'll reply. Oh man, like that right there. Like, maybe just tell me to shut up, stop talking, and drift. You could link turns when you're not talking, but you suck. You're not Jeremy Clarkson. You can't slide and talk at the same time. That's what someone just needs to shut up. Just tell me. Stop talking, Dave. You're rambling, and you've been rambling for like a half hour. I'm getting all sweaty. God, this is fun. Whoops. There we go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I was so close to that guardrail. Oh. Poo just came out. I have poo in my jeans now. There is now poo in my jeans. Let's do the tunnel one last time, and then we'll wrap this up. We'll get out of here. That feels really good, by the way, guys. Oh, and spin! I love that clutch kicking is so responsive to this in this car. You drive some cars in Assetto Corsa, and they just do not respond well to a clutch kick. These BMWs respond super well to a well-timed clutch kick. Yes, that does feel good. Holy crap. And I love how the car reacts when you finally stop treating the throttle pedal like a light switch and you actually treat it like it's a throttle pedal with a range, because you could just coast mid-drift at like 80% throttle. And it makes you feel like a superhero. Woo! That was it. Okay, well, on that note, that's going to be it for this video, guys. It's a long one. I'm going to hate having to edit all of this together. I'm not going to do any big edits. It's going to be the occasional jump cut when I get too rambly, and maybe not even that. Anyway, all right. I'm going to go nurse my wrist, and I'll see you guys whenever I decide to do my rally race. Later.